Okay, so it's the avant-garde sideways camera thing because I spent all 20 minutes of my meditation trying to figure out what the setting was on my camera that's wrong. So that's my mind when it gets lashed onto something. Anyway, uh, today's talk is much more visceral than visual. So it's not what it looks like, it's the message, what it sounds like. And the message this week and today is this crazy notion of turning our life and our will over to the care of the universe or source or God or whatever you want to call it, but this prayer to do that. And as opposed to living based on our own volition, our own choice, our own way. And so it's not a requirement to do it. It's not necessary. You can easily go your whole life and never think or consider or ponder such a possibility. And probably a good majority, if not the vast majority of humans, to some degree, never even consider the idea of turning their life and their will, their volition, over to a power greater than themselves. So we're exploring today, aren't we? And yet, there are those who very much claim and declare that as a result of doing so, the largest dilemmas, the biggest problems, the greatest transformation, the most astonishing revolutionary change has occurred as the result of doing precisely that in the depths of one's own heart and soul to the degree that one can in any given moment, saying, I offer my smaller mortal self to thy infinite conscious self. That's one way of many ways. There's no one way to say it. It doesn't matter what you say as long as the wording is expressed, as long as the meaning is expressed, the wording is quite optional. And everybody gets a wording of their own understanding, but the one contingency, the one condition, the biggest one is it has to be said without reservation. If we say it, but it's just lip service, we don't really mean it, then it doesn't really do anything. But if we say it without reservation, with trust, with, what's a good word? Abandon. If we say it with abandon, then the prayer has the power of nothing less than, what's another good word? Explosive. It has an explosive dynamic to it. It detonates something inside of our soul that sometimes with astonishing rapidity clears away resistance, struggle, habit, bad thought, memory, sin, karma, reticence, anxiety. It just can sweep it away in a moment, the way that a landslide or a tidal wave can, a good one. And yet, that's what makes it the most scary of all prayers. And to say that in any given moment, especially if you've been in the game for a while, you've been doing it for a while, but bad habits and resistance can build up. We can think we're doing the right thing. We can think that what we think is the right thing, and yet, if that's the case, why do we struggle? Why are we anxious? Why are we fearful? How come we're not walking around the planets like gods, healing others and bringing the best of ourselves to every situation? So it's the scariest prayer to think that what we're doing right now is carefully constructed and all the plans that we've made to try to make it work might not be the best thing, because maybe it isn't. Yesterday, I got a brand new refrigerator for my place and I had to switch the swing of the doors. So that was going to be a 20-minute process, I figured, and then I could go to my noontime spiritual meeting. But anyway, after about an hour working on it and missing my noontime meeting and cursing and calling their customer service, it took me 2.5 hours to do it. And the frustration, the aggravation. But what I really found interesting is after I switched the swing of my doors so they open the other way, all day yesterday I kept reaching for the wrong way to open it and it wouldn't open. And it was like, man, what a habit in one day, in however many days I've had this new refrigerator, just a few days, I built the habit of how it should open, that my will, my understanding, and I kept doing it wrong over and over and over until finally it's like, hey, bro, it opens this way. And so it's amazing how these habits and these grooves get built into our brain. So if you're interested in the great explosive dynamic and the sudden and transformative power of having things rearranged quickly and most gloriously, go ahead and pray that you would turn your life and your will over to the care of God without reservation, without hesitation, with as much trust as you can. Don't have to. It's just a suggestion only. Anyway, think about it. I sure will too. See you tomorrow.